Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Triangle Season 3, Episode 18, and the name of this episode is Hornet's Nest. One, I want to offer my apologies to everybody. You know, I've been MIA for a while, but I'm still recovering from my illness, and I've just been laid back, taking it easy. But I'm back now, and I'm ready to, give you guys, these reviews because I have been following the show, and I've also been following on the Triangle fan page, and I'm loving everything I'm seeing. But before I get started, I just want to let you know, subscribe to brtbtv.com if you not have already done so, and also, try to become a part of the Triangle fan page because there's always something on Triangle's fan page on Facebook. And, just some of the theories and some of the posts are amazing. And I definitely, encourage everyone to subscribe to brtbtv.com and to also, to also subscribe to Triangle fan to the Triangle fan club on Facebook as well. Now, this was a really damn good episode, and I'm going to try to narrow it down because I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. But if I miss anything, put it down in the comments. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it. But I'm just going to talk about things. It may be all over the place, but it was crazy. One thing that I want to open up is that I would have to say there was a lot of Neil in this episode, and we really are seeing the fact that Neil is emotionally and mentally unstable. Like, he gives a new name to bipolar. I mean, just gives you the face. I mean, if you see bipolar in the dictionaries, Neil's picture will be right beside it. I mean, seriously. Because the first time we see him and Derek are talking, he finally apologizes to Derek because he realizes that Derek was telling the truth about being kidnapped. But Derek is over it. He's like, dude, I'm getting sick of y'all ass always apologizing to me. You'll do some fucked up shit and then you apologize and then you do the same shit to me again. Like, I can't keep going down this road with you. Then we see him meet up with Jabril, and he supposedly is confessing to Jabril that the reason why he did all the bad shit he did to him was because he was undiagnosed with bipolar disorder. Now, I am very sympathetic to people who suffer from mental illness like bipolar and things like that, but there's medicine for it. And obviously, he needs his meds calibrated ASAP because it seemed to me that Neil just does fucked up shit and never wants to take responsibility for his actions. He always tries to use an excuse as to why he's fucked up. And Jabril wasn't going for it. Jabril was like, look, you think I didn't know this? Like, you the same degenerate, dumbass nigga that you were back then. And I was under, and then on top of it, you took me by surprise that you were using my money to buy drugs, to, spend money on dudes when you were fucking behind my back, and then you left me with nothing. But then all of a sudden, it just didn't register to Neil that, Neil, you have done some serious damage to this man. But it's plainly obvious that Neil is still in love with Jabril. Then we get another scene. Derek's out eating at a restaurant. He runs into Christian. Now remember, when he first met Christian, he told Christian his name was Jacob. Neil somehow finds him and begins to have a fucking scene. Tell him, what the hell, this is how you do, Derek? Every time I turn around, you got another nigga in your face. And Christian's kind of thrown off like, yo, chill, Neil, it's not even like that. And then all of a sudden, Christian's like, well, Jacob, what the hell's going on? And then all of a sudden, Neil decided to put on a motherfucking performance. He was like, oh, Jacob, huh? I didn't know this was going on. Okay. Well, and then, Christian's like, I don't understand. He's like, okay, well, let me help you out. See, what Derek is going to do is that after you pay for his meal, he's probably going to take you somewhere and fuck you and suck you real good. And his prices are very, reasonable. But don't worry, bruh. It's on me. And he slams the money on the table and walks off. Now, this is when I really was like, yo, my boy Christian. Because Christian gets the fuck up, corners his ass in the alley, and lets him know, like, dude, First of all, you disrespectful motherfucker. You used me and blackmailed me to get a meeting with Jabril, and now you just gonna disrespect me in public? Dude, don't think that I'm just some dumb country bumpkin. I will fuck you up. And I was like, okay, Christian, I see you. And then Neil also kind of just like, oh yeah, just like I fucked Jabril. I'm like, really, nigga? So we're already seeing that Neil is a real fucking mess. But Christian's like, again, I'll say the shit again. Don't mess with me, because I will fuck you up. And he's like, oh, okay, Mr. Forbes, I see how you are. I'll see you in court. And he even shoved Neil, so he wasn't fucking playing. Like, Neil, you was about to get your ass whooped. But then after that, Christian goes back and he also confronts Derek and says that, look, I don't take kind to disrespect, and I don't take kind to liars. You know, because, regardless of what you may think, Christian is a Christian. So when you ready to be real and you need a friend, call me. And he leaves. Because at first he's like, you know, you should, and because like when he came back, Derek, in his simple-minded ass, was like, won't you take the money? You know, it's the cost of all your troubles. So, nigga, you kind of approached it like he was a slut. And obviously, that's not the impression that Christian had. So it's like, oh, so you were just totally a different person, and you didn't even tell me, you weren't even giving me the real you. So I got why Christian rejected it. Also, Mason is back to work, you know, after, you know, Adonis's death. He's now trying to pull himself back together, so that was cool. We also had a scene with Tessa and Fallon. You know, they're still having their mother and daughter bonding. You know, Tessa's playing some Debussy on the piano. But while they're having this conversation, Fallon brings up that Mason mentioned some guy named Lawson, and that immediately shook Tessa up. She's like, oh, what the fuck is this shit? But, you know, Fallon was like, but somehow when he said that shit, you know, in a sarcastic manner, because remember we saw this a few episodes ago when she had ran into Mason and Kiko. And she was just saying that from that point on, it just never sat well with her. So Tessa denies it, that she doesn't know what she's talking about. But then after Fallon excuses herself, she's like, okay, Mr. Hawkins, you want to run your mouth? You have to teach your ass a lesson. And then Fallon gets a call from Barron that she's needed in D.C., that he has this employee that she wants to give some business training to. But wait till you find out who that person is. But we definitely find out in the next episode. But I'm just going to keep it cool right here. But yeah, wait till we find out who that person is. And if anything, she also stresses to Tessa that she feels that something's not right with this setup, because Tessa right now is at their pretty much their original home that they had in Georgia, the home that Fallon and Jabril grew up in. And she's saying that, don't you think this is all odd, the engagement, all of this setup? I mean, something just doesn't sit right with me about this. But then she said that, but then Tessa also said she's been trying to call Barron, but Barron hasn't returned any of her calls or her texts. So Fallon said when she gets there, she'll have him call her. So that was the end of that. Then we have a scene where Corinne comes to the house and she runs into Brandon. Now Brandon is already in his feelings about a lot of shit. One, he knows that Jabril is going to have this dinner with Alex and this guy, and they're supposed to have like this double date. Due to the fact he knows the kind of person Alex is, he's like, yo, he wasn't feeling it, so he's in his feelings about that shit. Then you got Julian pretty much acting like a damn ghost in the fucking house, just haunting the fuck out of him, you know, coming through while he's studying, you know, just dropping subliminals and shit. But then we also see that he actually tells Brandon, like, so, you know, it seemed to me that I met one of your friends. And then Brandon's like, who are you talking about? He said Alex. And he's like, look, Alex is just an acquaintance. I wouldn't really consider him a friend. Well, he's like, well, hey, that ain't what he told me. And he's like, well, what did he tell you? He's like, he told me that y'all fucked. And I fucked him too. I mean, he was pretty good, but I've had better. And then he's like, but don't worry, the secret is safe with me. And then Jabril came in and he tried to deflect it. So all of this shit is going on in Brandon's mind. So when Corinne comes in, he just goes off on her. Like, you need to, like, pretty much telling her that she needs to stop showing up unannounced. And, you know, all of a sudden, like, you hear all the time, you hear every single day, what the hell's going on? Can you talk to him? Can you talk to Jabril the last time he was here? And Corinne, I have to say, I was on Corinne's side. I mean, even though Corinne's a messy bitch, and she definitely got some tricks up her sleeve, in this moment, I was on Corinne's side because Brandon was all kind of disrespectful and all out of pocket of how the way he was talking to her. And Corinne was like, first of all, I can come to this house anytime I damn well please. My sons live here. My sons own this house. So, you know, and then Brandon started saying that, yeah, but I was with Jabril when Jabril didn't have anything. Where were you then? Oh, probably the same place you were when he was born. Oh, and she really started to like, oh, motherfucker, you done lost your damn mind, think you can talk to me like that. And she says that, look, me and you are no different. We are all outsiders when it comes to the Davenports, so don't you write a check that your ass can't cash. And I was like, okay, Corinne, yes. Let his ass know. And then he goes into the bathroom, has a breakdown, and she actually sees that he's taking drugs. She witnessed it. So now we got another person besides Julian who knows that Brandon's on drugs. And Corinne tries to have this heart-to-heart with Jabril, and she's saying that, look, you need to pay close attention to your husband. But of course, Jabril is defensive because Jabril is so in his own fucking mind, he doesn't even realize that his world is collapsing right around him and why their marriage is just not on good terms. So then we have the actual dinner date. Brandon is so not here for it, especially when he finds out who is the guy that Jabril is going to introduce Alex to. Excuse me. And I already suspected this too, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have as well. But Brandon opens the door, and it's Jesus, Mason's ex-boyfriend. So Brandon is so not with it, but it just goes to show you that in Jabril's mind, he's still trying to take down Mason in every single way. So now he's trying to get Jesus a boyfriend, so therefore Mason won't have anybody. Because he knows that him and Jesus still talk. And, you know, Jabril and Jesus have become acquaintances, and we even saw this, you know, on Davenport Diaries as well. So, after all of that, you know, you can literally cut the tension with a knife. It was so fucking uncomfortable at that damn dinner table. And then fucking Julian comes in and pretty much fakes like he doesn't know Alex right in front of fucking Brandon when Brandon knows that they know each other. Because at first, before dinner, he confronted Alex and said, Alex, don't do this. Just go the fuck home. He's like, look, I was invited. You know, and then like Brandon's like, why did you tell Julian about us? And he said, I didn't tell Julian. He overheard. So I'm like, oh hell. So Brandon just is so not here for the fuckery, so he just gets up and goes to his room. Then Julian goes up there and is like, you know, come on, why are you hiding? You know, I know that this has to be crazy. Your husband and your lover at the same dinner table, and just rubbing it in. And then Brandon was like, yo, go to hell. I don't know what you're trying to do. You trying to taunt me and shit. But if you feel like you want to go run and tell him, go ahead. Fucking tell him. And he's like, first of all, go to hell? Don't ever talk to me like that. And if you do, if you ever talk to me like that again, I'll make your life a living hell. So get yourself together because you look like shit. I'm like, Julian, I'm so here for your plan to blow up in your fucking face. Because you're being really fucking messy. And then we see later on, Jesus and Alex go to his place to have drinks. And it's obvious they do not fucking like each other. Because Jesus is still in love with Mason. We all know this. So when he's bringing up Mason and he was saying that, I don't understand why Brandon acted like that. Me and Brandon are usually cool, but then again, I know how Mason is. Mason is very territorial with his friends, but, you know, but it's all good, though, because I know Mason means well. And then fucking Alex starts going in, like, you know, going in on Mason, like, you know, you up in here crying and moping about your damn ex. He's obviously an asshole. And they just go back and forth, and then the next thing you know, he's like, you know what, I'm over this conversation, you know, I'm a hot piece of ass, and I don't need time for some weak motherfucker just crying over his ex, so get the hell out, and that was the end of that. Then he had a meeting with Julian, and Julian is actually saying that, yeah, you know, Brandon's going to have to come to you because you're his only supplier. So, you know, get it to the point where he no longer has any drugs. But then once he comes, give him something strong, and we can set his ass up and kind of get him on tape or whatever. You know, we want to expose Brandon sooner because his whole mission is to take down Jabril. So that whole situation was fucking crazy. And I was just like, wow, the fucking Hornet's Nest is crazy because you got so much shit going on. I mean, even with Neil's situation, when it comes out that Neil and Derek both used to date Jabril, that's going to be fucking crazy. And then now, and it's kind of funny that every guy, like even as far as Christian and Derek, because later on Christian and Derek do re-meet again at Derek's apartment, and Derek opens up to him about when he was Jacob and he was escorting and all of that, and that how much he hated that lifestyle. But then next thing you know, we see that fucking Christian actually admits that he had paid for an escort before, and that he's actually paid for an escort, and that he also fell in love with the escort. Meaning, and we know the escort to be Ian, you know, Baron's side piece. And then the next thing you know, we see fucking Christian gets all close and is about to, like, start loving up on Derek, but Derek pushes him away, like, yo, too soon, too soon. I'm like, okay, we seem to me that both Christian and Neil, both, after leaving Jabril, started developing, you know, a fixation for escorts. You know, it's like after a while, they got a soft spot, you know, for the you know, the escort boy in distress. I don't know what that is, but it seemed to me that Jabril, after dating Jabril, you either become a hoe or you end up paying for hoes. and that's crazy as hell. But we definitely see that web has been spun. I mean, because you got Jabril being the head, and then you got Christian, you got Neil, you got, you know, Brandon, and then you also got Derek, you know, also in the midst of all that. So when all that comes out, it's going to be a fucking shitstorm, and I'm so here for it. But that's my review, y'all. Again, subscribe to brtbtv.com. I will have the link in the description box. Also subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode of Triangle. So until then, everybody, take care.